4. It's already the end of September almost. That's not okay. Okay. Switches over to science and technology on both feeds. Give me 15, 20 minutes just to get something to drink, check on Bree, check on the dog, even though they were checking on me a second ago. I'm going to go back and check on them. It's important. I'll be right back. Just stop playing the music. What the heck? Who turned it off? I blame Yarg. All right. Okay. All right, we got some stuff from Boom there. There we go. I forgot the stream was going and choked on my dinner when you started talking. Sorry. I just woofed a pork chop. Bree cooked a pork chop and it was awesome. How dare you talk? Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't have been streaming there. Yeah, my bad. All right, so we got some news from the Blorgens. Recooked pork chop, the last unknown state of matter. Okay, so let's get to this. Ready? All right. All right. That's my water bottle. So, do you guys remember during Space News last week where we were talking about, we picked up a thread on X from a guy by the name of the Space Engineer, how he was kind of noting that there was a ship out near Booster 11's recovery area. Booster 11 is the super heavy booster that SpaceX launched on Flight 4. It did do a soft landing. It landed right above the water, shut its engine off, and then, as far as we know, it took a dunk. There's a recovery ship that was out there last week. It was a salvage vessel. Yeah. And last night, the meme lord posted that. Of cooking, it was great. Yeah, it was perfect. So, right there is the outer ring of rocket engines from Booster 11 from Flight 4. They picked it up out of the water. SpaceX went and recovered as much of their booster as they can. I don't think it's reusable. Yeah, no, you're probably right. So what happened here? It most likely what happened here is the booster hit the water, and then for, well, structural reasons, dunking into the water basically broke off the the thrust structure down here. That happens because of hydropneumatic dynamics of dropping a booster from air into dropping the booster into the water, I think, at least. So it's interesting because if you notice, there's a lot of sand down here in some of these nozzles. There's a lot of it. So it seems like the booster, if my water bottle is the booster, right? It came down, dropped into the water. When it dropped in, air got caught in the engine section, and most likely the force of the booster dropping into the water pushed the engine section up into the LOX tank and probably broke it off. I mean, that's what I'm looking at here. There's a very clear break in the stainless steel where the bulkhead should be right there.
Discovery,
now, from there, I think what was left of the booster when it plunged into the water, probably went like this, probably went a little bit sideways, right? And it looks like it hit the ocean floor kind of at an angle like this and then fell over, right? Because some of the engines have sand in them and some of them don't. Looks like something out of a Fallout TV show. It really does, doesn't it? It's crazy. Right, Hex? Isn't that weird? But yeah, clearly the thing dug in on one side because there's tons of sand, and these ones are full of sand, and those ones are not. I'm not sure if there's anything particularly salvageable here. Maybe. I think SpaceX should take the Raptor turbine machinery apart. They should take that turbine machinery apart and test it. See if it goes. Yeah, it's wild that this is a thing. How far off the coast was it? They landed. So I thought about it. I'm like, man, that's not a small piece of equipment. Getting that thing back is pretty crazy. Like, how deep of the water did they go into? I talked about this at the beginning of the stream, but guys, most boosters go downrange. When the boosters go downrange, they go about 600 kilometers flying on their ballistic arc. About 600 kilometers, give or take. Now, if you look right here on Google Earth, you look right there, you guys can't see it. That's about 15,000 feet deep. About 2.5 miles. That's a long way down. You're not getting anything back from that, right? Now, if you go over to Boca Chica, over here, right, you go out about 600 kilometers, right? And it's anywhere from 11,000 to 7,000 feet deep, right? So that's a long way, right? But here's the thing. The booster from Flight 4 went back, and we know from the footage that it turned around and did a boost back, and it landed about 70 kilometers offshore. Now, if you're 70 kilometers offshore here, what's the depth right there? The depth is 200 feet. 200, that's it. Now, interesting thing here, like, you know, let's just say it's a little bit further out. Let's say it's 300 feet, right? 330 feet is about 100 meters. This booster is 70 meters tall. If the booster, I don't think it did, but if it did land straight up, you would probably be able to see it from the surface. You could see the top if it landed like straight on the ocean. Like super heavy. Like, I know everybody's wondering, like, how the hell did you get that back? Where they recovered it is not very shallow. So our ocean is full of broken boosters. Yes. More pictures from the recovery. Oh. Who took these pictures? It's the Interstellar Gateway. I mean, there's hundreds of them out there, Hex, but yeah. Yeah, see, that's the ship that went and got it. It's a big vessel. Yeah, that's the guy. Jealous of the fish that get to play astronaut. So that is on there somewhere, at least, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, this thing is sitting out there. I would guess that engine section is somewhere in here, if they were able to get at it. Either that or they went to try and move it and this thing snapped and fell back in the drink, but I don't know. Let's see, anything else in there? There's definitely stuff under tarps. I'm not sure how much of it they actually were able to get back. That doesn't look as big as the structure that we saw in this picture. Yeah, no, Hex is just taking the piss a little bit. It's all good. Yeah, see? They got it. That's crazy. I can't believe that. So, once again, this is the booster. I'll show you the footage here. Here, this booster is this thing down here. That's the exact one. This is footage from there it is. That's the same thing. This outer ring of engines right there, I mean, that's it in better times, is that. Which is absolutely crazy. And I'm not going to not watch this footage here, so just going to have to bear with me.
Stage 2.
Go.
A by 2.
Go.
Flight directors, go for launch. We have liftoff.
Vehicle is pushing downrange.
Ship chamber pressures are nominal.
Max Q. Vehicle is supersonic. Booster engine cut off. Ship ignition. Stage separation confirmed.
Hot stage confirmed. Ship under its own power.
Who's confirmed start off?
View of the jettisoned hot stage.
Booster, the primary goal today is to do a landing burn and a splashdown in the water. You can see those grid fins on your left-hand screen rotating
That
and
thing.
turning to guide the
That
booster.
thing.
There's that
That's the thing that did the thing. That's still nuts. That's still nuts.
And we have splashdown.
Ship engine cut off.
Our primary goal is to get through the extreme heat of Starship reentry.
Starship is approaching entry interface. Starship is passing through 100
Oh, that's still good, man. That's still cool. That's not cool, but
5 kilometers altitude. Flaps
No.
up control of the vehicle. Vehicle is approaching maximum entry dynamic pressure. External temperatures are dropping. Starship is in landing burn. Starship landing burn shut down.
how did it do it? How did it do that? How did it make that through? How did it make it through? Was it unmanned? Yeah, there's nobody on board. It was an uncrewed test. They're all uncrewed right now. Yeah, see, I love how if you go look at this picture, even everybody in mission control is like, wow, it did it. Okay. That's pretty much the face that everybody was making. Like, did that just happen? All right. But anyway, this thing right there, that's the piece that they got back. It's a piece of that thing, which is bananas. That's a 22-story building doing that. Yeah, that super heavy is 70 meters, 22 stories, 220 feet. It's not small. It's not small. But yeah, Elon posted that last night and they got a piece of it back, which is just, that's cool, man. You know, I talked about it a little bit earlier on stream, like that, you know, like, oh, you know, every other aerospace company would be like, oh, it's expended. We're not going to go get it. It'd be recovery operations would be too costly. We don't want to do anything. No. SpaceX is like, yo, pay somebody to go and get that thing. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. It's in shallow water. We can get it. Why not? It's like that can-do attitude is money. It's like, yeah, of course we're going to go get our destroyed booster. Hell yeah, we're going to go get that destroyed booster. let's go. And then they freaking did, which is absolutely crazy. Go get our stuff. Yeah, exactly. Go get it. Just go get it. It's fine. I said it's like the bell curve meme. Here. Where is a good picture? I had a good picture of it before. This is on image flip, but I don't care, whatever. It's this one right here. It's like over here is like just go fish it out of the ocean. This guy in the center is coping hard, like, oh no, you can't do that. No, the logistics involved with pulling a booster 9-meter core out of the water is do it. And then there's this guy over here who's super smart, like big brain, many wrinkles. That's like, yeah, just pick it up out of the water. Just go get it. Just go get it. Just go get it. Just go get it. You know, like, and then no, the guy that's coping in the center. It's awesome. No, just go get it. Fanboys, old space, SpaceX, yeah, right. Midwits are the worst. No, you can't do that. The technical complexity with being able to fish the booster out would never be. No, just go get it. Just go get it. Just hop over and get it. Easy peasy. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy, but dude, that's pretty freaking cool. There is no try. Do or do not. I'll try my best. Your best. Losers go home and whine about their best. Winners go home and get the prom queen. Carla was the prom queen. You know, that's awesome. No, I think I love EJ's midwit voice. Oh, jeez. It wasn't easy, but it was simple. Yeah. Now, in terms of why they would do this, I personally, why? What's the point of going and getting this thing in the first place? Well, I think because you can, because SpaceX really likes doing that whole because we can thing. But I think it has a lot to do with, saltwater intrusion on components is probably something that SpaceX is going to need to take into account in the future, and that's really good data on one. Also, you know, I don't think any of these nozzles are good to go. I really don't. None of those are probably going to work because they have channels inside of them, and the second you bend the cooling channels, you're creating an impingement, which will blow the thing up if you try to fire it. But give these things some new nozzles. Give it some new nozzles. Rebuild the turbine machinery. See what happens. I bet you that turbine machinery still works. I have no way of proving that. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Who knows? Still cool, though. It's really good data. You're getting a lot of good info. Get a lot of good info here on saltwater intrusion on your Raptor engines. Also, the memes are quite funny. SpaceX is doing smart reuse. Look, they did smart reuse. Yeah, smart reuse. Okay. Yeah, something like that, Repair. Yeah, it's way down there. Yep. I don't think it's 116,000 feet down. I don't think the ocean is that deep. Little WD-40, it'll fire right up. So, actually, you guys are saying some of the numbers are on here. So, 181, 182, 242. Let's see. Let's go back and see the footage here. See if we can get a picture. I'm wondering if we can see what side of the booster it is in this shot here. Anybody see any numbers that match? I don't. Oh, these are your engine numbers. They're not your Raptor serial numbers. There's no way we're going to be able to figure that out unless we saw it from the side. I mean, I'm sure there's some NSF footage of this thing being lifted, but... Your 0 button has been sticking. Oh, okay. Did this go into space or just scrolled past the horizon? I don't know, Newmark. Honestly, let you be the judge. I think on paper it went into space. Yeah, sure. I would definitely call that. I would call that space. Yeah, I'd say it went over the Kármán line. Yeah, I would call it. That's been to space. Yeah. Is that wild or what? I still can't believe this whole freaking flight happened. This is just crazy. Just absolutely nanners to me. Look, dude. Oh. I don't think I gave this enough credit how cool that actually is. Like, dude. You gotta be kidding me. That thing is freaking gigantic. Largest vapor cone ever by a man-made object. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. I still can't believe that this whole mission happened. This mission was nuts. And you know, we're gonna get to see Flight 5, you know, sometime this year, hopefully, pending regulatory approval. Now, speaking of that, they were doing testing on Flight 5, the Flight 5 stack. This morning, actually. Give me 1 second. We do have a full stack there. There's the next one right there, ready to go. How much time passed from SN15 to IFT1? Oh. So IFT1 was April 20th, 2023. SN15 was May 5th, 2021. Two years. Pretty much 2 years. So 25 months. Or 23 months? 2 years. Let's just say 2 years. 715 days. 715 days. 23. Yeah, we'll say 2 years. We'll call it a day. Yeah, Newmark, that's what I mean. These things are, you know, this is a live shot right now. But, dude, you want your scale here? You see those little things right there? That's a flight of stairs. See that? That little diagonal? That's a flight of stairs. This thing is big. Big. I've never seen one in person. But yeah, you see the flights of stairs right there? Those are flights of stairs. That booster. The booster. It's 22 stories tall. The whole stack is 35 stories. That's a 35-story building flying into space. That structure, the chopsticks to the left, that's 525 feet tall. Actually, it's got to be more than 35 if this is 525 feet to the very top. If that's the case, yeah, this thing's got to be closer to a 40-story building, which is just, all right. Okay, it's fine. I wonder what the crew access arm setup for this thing would look like. My guess is something like the quick disconnect. It's got to be like that. The cart, the chopsticks get in the way. Either that or the crew access arm is on the chopstick. But then again, it would get in the way of catching a booster. Nah, it's got to look like the quick disconnect. That's still... Yeah, with all the Falcon 9 launches, Pat, it's been great, yeah. Telescoping from the tower, not swinging. I don't know how you do that without it getting in the way of the chopsticks. I would just make a crew access arm that just bends around, just like the quick disconnect. Why would you do anything different? Why would you reinvent the wheel? Just do that again. Easy peasy. Might be a silly question, but do the astronauts in there have an eject button on manned missions? Starship is not crew rated yet. These are still very much test flights, Newmark. I'm not sure about the eject button. I'm not sure how Starship will deal with mode contingency aborts. Excuse me. I don't know. Maybe a Slick 41 style biff for cargo and crew. That would be a gigantic thing. And where's it gonna go, Talon? Where are you putting this thing? There's not much left between the... What about getting the ship on the ground and then lift it onto the booster? Maybe. Yeah, maybe, Nathan. Who knows? Asking about scale, how many feet is in a story? 10. Give or take, run. It's 10. Or about 3 meters, give or take. Yeah, I mean, you could also look at this shot behind my head and see these gigantic freaking cranes right there. They're building the second tower over there. Look at that, man. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, that's a live shot. They were doing testing earlier, but I think they did some type of wet dress or something. But yeah, the stack's ready to go. I think with the frigate tail launch goals, it's fairly feasible that they load people into the ship, stack, fuel, and then go. Yeah, never mind load and go, stack and go. It's definitely possible. Can you imagine a Starship taxiing to the runway? And by runway, I mean launch pad. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Wouldn't that be something? Just waiting on the FAA, correct? Yeah. Yeah, I think they're ready to go here. We also know that Starship is going to have a breakover device for horizontal transport, so you might actually like get into the Starship, like the Starship might actually pull up to like a jetway in the future and just you know, with the breakover device on the back, and then a crane will pick it up, or I don't know how the chopsticks would pick it up. It's not going to happen, but if you moved it on an erector though, right, move around on a little erector and the erector puts it upright, the chopsticks grab it, and then you go. Dude, I can see that. I can see that being a thing. That would make sense. Can you believe it? If that actually becomes a thing, that would be really cool. Let's just say. If they're going to use an ML, it opens up options. Yep. Yeah, maybe. The FAA said minimum of November. That's right. That's what they said, which is... guys, I personally think SpaceX and the FAA will work together. We'll probably get it I think we could get it in October if everybody plays ball here, but who knows? I'm sorry, I'm staring at it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm staring at it. I'm just looking at it. The erector would not be little. Wouldn't be any bigger than a Falcon 9's. Cool. All right, well, that's what's going on with Starship right now. Here, 1 second. I just want to check one more thing. Okay. Cool. I still can't believe that. I can't believe they went and fished out parts of Booster 11. I can't believe that. That just all right. So excited for the day we will see that thing land on Mars. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. It'll be pretty cool. Oh wait, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I'm looking for something here. Yep, that proved to be a good decision. Not scrolling through that. I'm looking for the space stuff. It's yeah, there's yep, nope. Yep. Yep. Okay. You know what? Let's just go back and look at that. I was looking for space stuff, but yeah, he has been posting more space stuff as of late, which is nice. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. So now check this out. Not that one. That's some different Firefly news. But we got Dave Limp. Dave Limp. Dave Limp. Dave Limp. Dave Limp. Let's move this stuff up here. Check this out. Blue Origin is testing their New Glen's second stage. Talking about recovery. Can they recover something from Ship 29 that splashed down? Maybe. It's in a lot deeper water, Forge. So Blue Origin had their second stage on a test stand that's on Slick 36, and they fired it. Trevor and John got the pictures. There we go. There's one from John. There's a video from Trevor. That's a little loud. Hold on. That's not too bad. Yeah, the thing's definitely going. Cool. And that got us some shots of the first test firing of the whole second stage altogether. So Blue says they've successfully completed New Glen's second stage hot fire today, a critical milestone for your first flight. Video forthcoming. Okay. Oh. Okay, back it up. This is another view. So Dave Limp posted this stuff. These are Different views from the flight here. Dave Limp's the CEO, Blue. Couple first today, it's 15 on this 15-second hot fire. First time we've integrated in hot fire to New Glenn flight stage, and the first time we've loaded a stage with propellants, liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen, which burns an almost transparent flame at nearly 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Glenn Stage 2 is one of the largest and most capable upper stages ever developed, with a propellant load comparable to a Delta IV Heavy booster. Frick you, that's rad, man. Wow. 2B3Us have a maximum thrust of 346 pounds of thrust, which is the equivalent thrust of a dozen F-16s. Kudos to the whole team. It's about 1,000 kilonewtons, guys. It's about 1 meganewton, give or take. Those BE3Us are the biggest expander cycle engines ever made. They're basically 2 RL10s on steroids, which is... That's pretty good, man. Put that on SLS. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, big time agree with you. That's a really good idea. Football fields and F-16s are my preferred units of thrust. Yes. Maybe NASA should put this thing on SLS like you said. Yep. Also, it's really cool seeing Slick 36, seeing all the rainbirds and everything do their thing. That's super freaking cool. Also, look at that expansion manifold there for the water suppression. Slick 36 is definitely using a gravity-fed sound suppressor from the water tower, which is like one of the biggest water towers ever made, which is kind of funny. How many would the SLS need? Would it be simply plumbing? What? What do you mean? Could an F-16 land on a football field? No. If I recall correctly, NASA did look at doing that. That's right, Bill. They did. Yep. They looked at putting GS2 on SLS, and they concluded the G-forces on ascent would exceed Orion's tolerances. Yeah, but expander cycle engines are throttleable, Bill, which is very strange to me. The BE4 engines, and you failed reading that a bit. How many would the SLS need? Would it be simply plumbing? I don't know where you're getting BE4s from. We're not talking about putting BE4s. We're talking about putting that on top of the core stage. No one's talking about BE4s here. So I may have read you wrong, but you heard me wrong, fool. When do you think ordinary humans can travel from Earth to the Mars or the Moon? Well, if Elon has his way, Jin, that could happen a lot sooner rather than later. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's not close. Let me put it to you like that. I would say at the very least 15, 20 years, probably something like that. I mean, if SpaceX didn't exist, I would say like 50 years. Anyway. That's crazy, dude. I still can't believe that. It's nuts. Also, shameless shout out to the second stage transporter erector. Super freaking cool. Did you know that Blue Origin has official currency? It's called Jeff Pesos. The way it goes. 2-month resub. Thank you. Sorry, migraine mixed things up. I can relate. But I'm asking if the plumbing would be simpler, as it would it take fewer engines, so you had less of a challenge routing things. Blue Origins and shuttle... Rewind. B4s and RS-25s actually make very similar amounts of thrust. Changing the plumbing, though, would be... I mean, you got to remember that the whole rocket is plumbing. The whole rocket is fuel tank. So If you say change the plumbing, you're changing everything. Could it work? Yeah, maybe. Would NASA go for it? No, not really. Would it be cool? Yep. Yep. That'd be pretty sweet. Sorry, didn't mean to spam. Just tag me, Reedy. If you type something and you don't tag me, I'm just going to assume you're not talking to me and I'm going to skip over it. Didn't mean to spam. Potentially silly question, but I live on the west coast of Australia. Right on, right on, mate. Yeah, you over by Perth, mate. Yeah, very nice. Live on the west coast of Australia and can quite often see Starlinks not long after deployment, low altitude but quite close. And I went outside during Starship reentry, but I couldn't see it. My question would be, how long would reentry be visible when it starts to land closer to the U.S., like in the Pacific? If they go for that, dude, you'll see it. It'll look like a comet streaking across the sky. You won't mistake a spacecraft re-entering for anything else. It looks like nothing. There's nothing else that we see in the ordinary that looks like that. Yeah. If you're like in Perth or something, dude, you'd want to look northwest. But here's the other thing. If you're like looking for a dragon deorbiting, the deorbit burn happens. I was about to say it happens kind of south of Tasmania. That's when they do the deorbit burn to come down, like over the United States. That I know that Tasmania is not near there, but the way the track goes, like the way the ground track goes, because the ISS orbit is tilted, it kind of goes down. Like if Australia is right here, it kind of goes down past Perth, which is like right here, and then it does the deorbit burn like under Tasmania right here, and then keeps going. You might be able to see those, if that's what you're asking. It's possible. Worst, which two pads is SpaceX currently launching from the Cape? Slick 40? So Slick 40 and Slick 40, so Space Launch Complex 40 and Launch Complex 39A. Yeah, also, I've been sitting here staring at this thing. Look at those damn hydraulics, man. Jeff wasn't kidding. Those are beast mode. Those are pretty thick hydraulics. That's like a meter wide freaking piston right there, which just, all right. Okay. Seriously, it's got to be a meter wide. Look at it next to the wheels on that damn trailer. That piston is that thick, dude. And look, the hydraulics for the regular transporter erector aren't hooked up, see? The Streak Dragon has. Starship should have an even bigger trail. It'd be, yeah, people will be able to see those things coming back in. Yep, thanks. I'll keep an eye out for the next dragon. You'd want to look southwest for a dragon deorbit, Reedy. Southwest to south, maybe even like southeast. Just a little bit. It depends. It depends on where you are. It depends on the light pollution. You got to get out in the sticks. Credits will do fun. No, they won't. No, they won't. Anyway. Yeah, man. That's this freaking little transporter. So what you guys are looking at here, and this is an awesome shot, by the way. What you're looking at here, this thing is a second stage transporter. Like, see this piece right here. I think this is actually super cool. This is a thing that tests the second stage. They can interface the second stage to their launch pad. This is the pad that New Glenn will take off from. This isn't a test stand. That's Slick 36, man. But they have a thing that they can, a transporter erector just for the second stage for doing propulsion tests like this, which is super freaking cool. Yeah, I always think the ground infrastructure is always the neatest part because it's me. Duh. Oh. That's interesting, Forge. You just checked, Bill? Let me see. I just checked about the Blue Origin proposed upper stage design with 1B3U and SLS for 2019. NASA rejected it because it would be too tall for the VAB doors, and because of the acceleration would be too high for Orion's solar arrays when deployed. Also, they said it couldn't launch 10 tons of payload along with Orion. But that doesn't seem to make any given sense given how powerful it'd be. Too tall for the VAB doors. You guys remember earlier in the space news thing where I was like, you know, just go get it. Just go get it. Just go get the stupid thing. No, we can't get stupid thing because of the quality of the thing. Pulling the thing off the ground would be crazy technically, right? You know, I was just saying that a second ago. You see where that mentality gets you, right? See, NASA doesn't want to put it on there because it would be too tall for the VAB doors. So make it taller. Oh my God. I'm sick of the copium. No, we can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. No, can't do that. Oh. The VAB upgrades aren't in the budget. Yeah. It'd be too high for Orion's solar arrays. A single engine BE3U New Glenn derived upper stage on SLS would be too much for Orion's solar panels, but the EUS with 4 RL10s, RL10C variants making 100 plus kilonewtons a pop, and you have 4 of them, wouldn't work as well. That works, but so we're talking about less than 100 kilonewton change in acceleration for it. Yeah, cope harder again. I'm just reading what the article said. Yeah, no, I know. I'm not. This isn't directed towards you. Also, they said it couldn't launch 10 tons of payload along with Orion, but that doesn't seem to make the EUS. What? Just reading what the article said. I can't really understand how that would work, given that it was a fresh design that they proposed. It could literally just be an EUS with a B3U instead of RL10s if they wanted. They're just coping, man. Just cope. Yeah, no, it's a missed opportunity, dude. Missed opportunity. SLS with that on top of it. Now we're talking. That'd be cool. But anyway, Blue's doing some good work here. Now, I think all they need to do in their critical mission pathway now is just static fire GS1. Static fire Fifi, if you will. Wait, do you mean that SLS only has a tiny bit of clearance getting through the VAB doors? I just don't understand how SLS Block 1B fits and how that doesn't. There's no way that stage is... An EUS is like... I mean, an EUS might be a little bit smaller, but... Okay. SpaceX Crew 10 patch is out. They'll fly on an all-new latest generation Dragon capsule C213. It has some slight upgrades to the normal Dragons. Cool. Also, sorry this is off topic, but regarding the discussion about the ML2 cost overruns a week or two ago, Bill, you did some digging and found for the Apollo program, the individual cost of each mobile launcher and umbilical tower was just $122 million. That's adjusted for $2024. The total cost of 3 MLs and their 3 launch umbilical towers and both crawler transporters was $900 million adjusted for inflation, and they were all built in about 4 years. Told you, man, system hasn't changed. There's no way you couldn't leverage the system to work for you. Everything scales around a deadline. Everything. What's SLS's height versus the Saturn V? The Block 1B variant's going to be a little bit taller than Saturn V, John. The current variant flying right now is just a little bit shorter than the Saturn V. Contract out Blue to make an 8.4 meter version of the second stage. That would be insane. They don't have the tooling to do that, but they could. I mean, I'm sure they would if NASA did it, but Bill, that's ridiculous. The cost of 3 mobile launchers, their launch umbilical towers, and both crawler transporters was $900 million, adjusted to $2024, and they were all built in about 4 years. What do you want to hear? I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, that's awesome that New Glenn Static fired their second stage. Super happy about that. Super happy. Anyway, check this out. Is the cam frozen? I don't know. You tell me. Ah, all right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Have you ever done a sober stream? Why would you ask that question, Box? Why would you ask that question? This is just water, don't you know? What are your thoughts? So, Yum Food, what are you asking here? What are your thoughts on all the spam Starship Space News YouTube channels? Some are spreading really bad information. They suck and they need to go away. Sussy Burger. Yeah. Amogus quiero high risk. Stop doing that. Stop doing that in here. Brain rot, indeed. Ever since he took off the sunglasses, he had to cope with the bright light somehow. Oh, you're just gonna come in, your audiophile, just gonna come in here out of nowhere, throw me under the bus? Is that how this is, man? I haven't talked to you in like 5 years. You're just gonna pop in here. Ah, he sucks, and then just, all right, hi, thanks for that, man. Yeah, they're spreading really bad information. Yum Food, part of me wants to start like a YouTube channel and make just crappy YouTube videos like that. But the YouTube video, it sounds like one of those other videos where it's like Elon Musk plans to send people to Mars. How Elon Musk sends people to Mars is how he's going to send people to Mars. Is how he's going to do it is with a huge spaceship. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I kind of want to do that, but just have me doing the crappy AI voiceover and have it actually be good information for a change. I think that'd be kind of funny. I think that would be hilarious, right? I mean, dude, did you see some of those channels get millions of freaking views? We might be sitting on a gold mine here. Yeah, game over. China's 800 million meter rocket. Yeah, yeah. If we just put out one of those all the time and it ticks the right box in the algorithm, dude. Viewed by other bot pages. Yeah, yeah, that's right. New narrator for NSF Starbase update. You know what? You know what, Andrew? I'm going to ask them. You know what? That's not a good idea. I was about to ask NSF if we could do that, but I really, really, really don't think they'll go for it. I really think that that's probably not a thing. Also, you guys actually reminded me, Adrian. Hey, I'm available for the Flame Trench this week. Smiley face. Sorry, just needed to. You're not going to beat DOS's LA Noir tone. Yeah. 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 You just watch me and Star Talk, the one from Neil Cut the Grass Tyson. Nice. Adrian. What's up, audiophile? Where have you been? Hope everything's well. See, if he's Neil Cut the Grass Tyson, I'm Eric Mow the Lawn Johnson. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Eric Mow the Lawn Johnson. All right. It's like Carry On Johnson, but mowing the lawn. Yeah. Football. All right. New SpockX tweet. Okay. But yeah, dude, I still can't believe they pulled that booster out of the water. How is that possible? Who did this? Why? Why? Oh, hello. Propellant load test and pre-flight checkouts complete ahead of Flight 5. Oh. So shiny. Want to touch the shiny. Yeah, Hewitt, I'm getting to it. Getting to it. Oh. This makes me feel feelings. Once again, guys, you want to see scale. Look at the staircase. Look at the staircase on the side of this thing. Looks like they used the satisfactory prefab tool up in here. Look at this thing. I mean, look at this thing. It's corn. Seriously, look. It just keeps going and going and going and going. Nothing outlasts the Mechazilla Tower. Control C, Control V. It's true, man. Hang on, are the chopsticks on the same as the launch tower? I assume it was a separate tower. There is 2 towers, Wasp, but no. That booster, that thing is going to try to get caught by that thing. On the next flight. On the next flight, dude. Like, that, oh, when is the next flight? Per the FAA, it's net November. Imagine if the toilet is on the ground floor. Ugh. You think Blue will reach orbit on first attempt, Milan? Yes, yes I do. I very much think they will. Yes, absolutely. And I think they'll land the booster on the first try. I absolutely think they will. Now, everyone's going to be like, Milan, here's how these events are going to play out. Blue's going to launch. And up until that point, everybody's going to say, no, they'll never land it. They'll never land it. They'll never land it. Right? And then you get people like me saying, oh, yeah, they'll do it. They'll do it. They'll do it. And they probably will. I really do think they will. Blue is 14,000 strong, man. There's no, and a lot of those people are from SpaceX. Blue poached a lot of people, a lot of propulsion engineers from SpaceX. I'm just saying. They also have New Shepard to get their landing data. And there's no, like, yeah, barring some crazy thing, I think we'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be a crazy thing, right? Now, with all that being said, I think it'll land. And when that thing lands, people will not realize that we don't have one, but we have 2 orbital class boosters that are reusable now. I think that's a very big paradigm shift. Because now, like, just think about that for a second. 2 reusable vehicles, you're starting to see that trend. SpaceX has been they've been the only ones that can reuse stuff. Nobody's ever done that. Nobody else has done that. For an orbital class booster, when Blue comes around and New Glenn lands, and I think it will, I'm pretty sure it will, we're going to have 2. And that's going to be really cool to think about, man. Does Electron count? Electron reused an engine from a flown booster, if I'm remembering correctly. Do we know, though, what's the specific reason the FAA delayed it from 2 months? Permitting, Lazarus. Permitting applications. A general versus individualized permit for wastewater discharge for the pad deluge. Yep. That, and they weren't sure if where the hot staging ring comes down, that they weren't sure it wouldn't come down and hit an endangered species, even just ignoring the fact that the 220-foot tall booster comes down right next to it and lands in the ocean. And that was found to be a finding of no significant impact. Okay. Do you think that there could be a collaboration between SpaceX and Blue with orbital refueling? I think if NASA pays them to do it, they'll do it, Spanker. Yeah. I think that they got data on landing, but I'm just curious about Stage 2 performance. They have no data on Stage 2. Milan, you must have just got here. Let me load up Dave Limp. Dave Limp. You were saying? Dude, this happened like just today. This happened just today. Well, the ring won't explode. Yeah, okay. You think it's going to hover like New Shepard or more suicide burn like Falcon 9? I think... All right. I think this thing is going to come in sideways, if you catch my drift, right? So... say these are the chopsticks, right? This thing is going to start coming in like this. It's going to level off, and it's going to come in sideways like that and catch. I've always said it's going to carry a little bit of horizontal momentum. There's going to be a slight horizontal component, and the thing will do this, and the tower flexing back and forth will dampen that movement. Like that. See? You meant New Glenn. Oh, New Glenn, Contra. No, it'll probably hover like New Shepard. Yeah, let me just turn it so you can't see the SpaceX logo. It'll probably come down like this and then probably just land right into position. I don't think it's going to hover. I don't think it needs to. But we'll see. So if the booster misses the chopsticks, do they hit the flight termination system or just let it fall? I would let it fall, Mutter. But I don't think it's going to. Nice shirt, by the way. Thank you. Bezos said it could. Yeah, Snake, that's right. He said it could hover. It could hover for a little bit. I don't think it needs to, though, but it could. I really don't think it's going to. You really get very inefficient if you try to make that thing sit there and hover. It's not the best. First album you ever bought. Drop dead legs down, down. Pretty smile, down, 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 hurts my head, gets me wild. Great album, dude. Great album. Anyway, yeah, Super Heavy, I think, is going to come in kind of sideways and then kind of translate while going down into the chopsticks, and it's going to catch it like that. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, with Muglins, I don't think it needs to hover, but it might. Who knows? I mean, you got to remember that escapade mission is going to be an extremely light payload, so they're going to have a lot left. They're going to have a lot of propellant left. They're going to have a lot left over. What's the worst that could happen if it misses the chopsticks? Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, sorry. Got distracted by David Lee Roth. So, here's the thing. Remember, I said it's going to come down sideways. It'll probably be targeting, like, next to the landing site until the last second, right? And then it'll, like Falcon 9, it'll turn using the grid fins, and then it'll come in kind of sideways and latch, right? The only time it's going to abort, it basically has an abort contingency where it'll come straight down next to the pad and blow up next to it, right? Or in the water or something. It'll divert like CRS-16 did that one time. But if it commits, right, to the final landing and they still somehow miss the chopsticks, I think the grid fins can hold it up. I'm pretty sure they can. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they'll be able to reuse it if that happens. It's most likely going to damage the heck out of the thing if they don't catch the pins, but I think it will. Yeah, you could pick it up. You could pick up an airplane by its wings once. You could pick up a helicopter by its rotors once. It'd work, but you'd never fly it again. I think that their insurance here is that Super Heavy can hold itself up on the grid fins. I'm pretty sure it can, but I'm pretty sure they're not planning for it, but it could. And that's what I think they're, like I said, insurance is. If they have to abort, I think if it gets to a certain point and something goes wrong during that last bit where it takes the turn over the pad, I think it'll just commit to it, and if it misses, it misses, dude. I don't think it will. I think they're gonna get it. I think it'll catch on the grid fins. I don't think they're gonna get the pin on the first try. If they do, I'll be just insanely impressed. That many tons smacking into it won't make the tower unusable. Sig, the tower is designed to sit next to Super Heavy when it goes off. I'm pretty sure it's fine. The segments on the tower are filled with concrete. That's not going anywhere. The structure of the thing is, yeah, no, it's gonna be fine, dude. Yeah, that tower is a tank, man. I really don't think it's gonna get anywhere near the tower. I think it'll divert and crash in the sandbar right here before it gets near that. Next-gen GPS is moving towards small sats and will be a proliferated approach using multi-orbit. 4 companies were selected to design the next-gen GPS. Cool. Astranus, Axient, L3 Harris Technologies, and Sierra. Interesting. Yeah, I think this thing could take a direct hit. Like the booster could hit it this way, and it still wouldn't. It would slice through it like a knife through butter. That tower is extremely strong. You guys gotta, okay, something to consider here. Okay, that tower is designed to be fine right here when that thing lights its engines. The overpressure event involved with this would create a pressure down here that's probably analogous to a nuclear blast. Oh, dude, look at the bulk carrier over there. Cool. Got a bulk carrier. What else we got? rigs? No, not rigs. Oil maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that equipment is. That's definitely a bulk carrier, though. Anyway, this thing is designed for a nuclear blast. The booster could hit it dead center and it'd be fine. I think that might be an empty container ship. Excited to get V2 out to you. Much better with lights, servos, sounds, and smoke. Don't do that. I mean, do, but all right, yeah, cool. I want it. Shut up, man. I want it. MD, I've been wanting you to explain why catch it all. Oh, sure. Yeah, I can do that. You guys want to know? Yeah, I got you. Hold on. Let me get up some pictures to explain this. Oh. Okay, I got all the pictures. There you go. That's the reason. That's the reason, dude. Cargo HLS, though. So, what are you thinking? Why would I say that? What do you mean, what do you mean? So the lunar lander, the cargo lunar lander? No. The HLS program. NASA needs their lander. NASA needs their lander by 2026. Now, once again, here's the thing. Starship revenue from Falcon 9 is driving Starlink revenue from Falcon 9 is driving Starship development, per Elon's own words. He actually had a tweet about this yesterday. I tried to go looking for it a little while ago, but I clicked on him and just started scrolling, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. Okay, so not here at least, you know. But you got to think. Okay, Starlink is an internal mission, right? What is Starship's biggest customer? What's the biggest customer for Starship right now? There are customers. There's Polaris 3. We know that Jared Isaacman is a customer for Starship. What's the biggest one? How about the $2.4 billion HLS contract? Yeah, that's probably a good chunk of development for, probably a good chunk of development money for Starship, right? Also, you know, deliver on that contract thing. That's kind of important. You kind of got paid, so you probably should do that, right? So I think HLS is driving Starship development right now. It really much is. It has to be. Because, you know, why? Why would you try to catch this thing? Don't you think it's a little premature? I mean, MD, I get asked this question every day almost. Why are they trying to catch it right now? Like, why are you trying to catch it? Why are you trying to catch it? They have to. They have to. Like, that's the short story. They have to. If they don't, well, if you look at HLS's if you look at HLS's kind of operations, its con ops here, look. You need to launch a depot starship, so a propellant tanker starship, and then you need starships to refuel, and then you got to launch HLS, and then you have HLS refuel with the depot starship, and then HLS will move out to lunar orbit, and then Orion will dock with it, and then it'll go back down to the moon, right? This propellant aggregation thing, depot storage launch, HLS Starship, that's a lot of launches in a very short period of time. Think about it, dude. SpaceX themselves have admitted to probably needing to launch 16 or 17 Starships to just to refuel that, just to refuel HLS. That's not even including the HLS launch itself, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that as a detractor. If anybody could do it, SpaceX could do it. Absolutely. I have the utmost confidence. They absolutely will. Right? Right? But Can you imagine expending 16 super heavies to do this if you don't get catching figured out? 16. Okay, a little bit of math here. 16 starships, you're expending super heavies because you can't catch them, times 33 engines a pop. That's 528 Raptors. That's not small. There's a reason why Elon a year and a half, 2 years ago basically said if we don't ramp up Raptor production, we are screwed. Because they need to produce hundreds of them, right? If you're reusing, you probably don't need to. If they can catch the booster, they're probably not going to reuse. They're probably not going to need to make 520. You're probably going to need to make like 200 maybe. That's still an insane amount of propulsion for anything. I don't think there's not many rocket engines that there's been 200 of. There hasn't been 200 shuttle engines, not even close. Like maybe 50, maybe, right? So think about this for a second. You need to deliver that lander ready to go. They have to do an unmanned demo landing of an HLS on the moon, and then they need to do the manned mission. So those two right there, that's 32 Starship flights that need to be done in the next 2 to 3 years. Okay? Now, even if Artemis 3 gets pushed back to 2026, 2027, right, which it probably will, that's still ridiculous. Even if you think Artemis 3 is going to be in 2028, that's 32 launches. 32 launches. At the very least, not including test flights, that's 32 launches over the next 4 years. That is an insane schedule for any rocket. Save for maybe Falcon 9. That's chump change for Falcon 9. But Falcon 9 can't move anything useful for humans out to the moon. Not yet, at least. I'm sure they're cooking up something with Falcon Heavy. I'm sure they are. But not this contract. But okay, so think about this on a time scale. You got to do 32 launches. You need to figure out depot Starship. You need to figure out on-orbit refueling. You need to figure out how to catch that booster. None of these other things can work unless you catch that damn thing. Or else you're looking at expending 1,058 Raptors over the next 4 years, which I really don't think SpaceX wants to do, right? Right? Does that make sense? So why are they catching it? Oh, they have to. They have to figure that out. If they don't figure that out, they're screwed. Screwed. They don't figure that out, they're going to be doing a lot more of that. That's the other picture I needed to tee up. This is putting those regulatory delays into context. Bingo, Bill. Bingo. Why do you think Elon's like, no, I can't wait 2 months, damn it. Oh, God. Right? It makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? How many times did NASA officially land on the moon with astronauts in the 70s? Why would you say officially, Ilona? They landed 6 times. 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. They landed 6 times. See what I'm talking about, guys? That's 32. They have to do at least 32 missions. And that's taking into account 16 times to deorbit. And not to mention, you could do this expending starships because you're only expending 6 engines a pop. That's not a big deal. But you cannot expend super heavies. You can't waste 33 engines every flight. That's just not going to happen. It makes no sense. It would be about as dumb as the shuttle jettisoning its engines after every flight, or using shuttle engines for an expendable launch. See what I mean? Doesn't make any sense. They have to figure out a way to. You have to get that data on reusing super heavy. You have to reuse it. They're basically in a point where you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. What about unofficial landings? Yeah, SCP. That's why I asked. Why would Ilona phrase that? Why would you phrase that question that way, implying A, that there were unofficial lunar landings, and B, I would know about said unofficial lunar landings. Come on, use your noodle next time. What's wrong with you? And how long was the preparation for the Apollo program without any real computers? They had computers. They had computers. They were about the size of a truck, but they had computers. Do you think that number comes down with Block 2 Starship with Raptor 3 engines? Yum Food, if I had to guess, this is me weighing in. If I had to guess, I would say that Raptor 3 in Starship Block 2 development is a way to hedge your bets, hedge your bets against that. Yeah. Sure. Oh yeah, Mason, that's right. I really hope that the tanker refill flight numbers are in for Block 1. I hope Block 2, it's like 8 to 12 refills. Well, Erudite, yeah, okay, here's the thing. Even if it's 12, that's 24 flights. You got to do 24 flights over the next 4 years is insane for anything. The only thing that's not insane for is Falcon 9. That is insane. That is an insane schedule for every rocket that isn't a SpaceX rocket. That's bananas. Or isn't Falcon 9. It's... That is a ridiculous launch cadence. Can you imagine? Can you think of SLS launching 24 times over the next 4 years? Do you know the Herculean effort that would need to be done to get that to happen? That's super heavy, guys. Because I hate to break it to you, super heavy is more complicated than the SLS core stage. Way more complicated. Now, like I said, that hopefully that puts into context why Elon is like, I hate the FAA right now. I hate them. Because, dude, they have to launch. They have to launch. This is important. I don't think Elon wants to be made a fool here. You know what I mean? Like, well, if he just sits there and bends over and takes it from the FAA, right? Like, 2028 is going to roll around and he's not going to be ready. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, SpaceX sucks so much, duh. Right? Like, you could see the headlines. You could see that happening. He doesn't want that to happen. Also, the guy's hell-bent on getting people off this rock, which is kind of cool. I kind of appreciate that. What is Blue's setup for the moon? SLD is what it's called, Dr. Gnome. Sustainable Lunar Development. I'm pretty sure they named that for a pretty good reason. They named it SLD, implying that Starship wasn't. Pretty damn sure. Friendly rivalry. Guys, I know people at Blue and I know people at SpaceX. They all cheer each other on, just for what it's worth. If you work in the industry, no one's like, oh my God, those SpaceX people suck. It's not like West Side Story. It's like, you know, it's like it's not like that. That's not how it do. Everybody in the industry likes everybody else's stuff because they're all space nuts. Also, West Side Story. It's a great musical. You should watch it. Did we talk about how Congress ripped the FAA a new one a couple of days ago? No, but that's pretty funny. Isn't it weird, Lazarus? You know, everybody that's a space fan, everybody that's a space fan seems to want to hate Congress all the time. But now Congress is like, no, what are you doing? Everyone's like, wait, Congress is actually helping us? What's happening? Isn't that funny? So basically, SpaceX has to launch, but the paperwork slows them down. That's what Elon is saying, yep. Space flan. Sounds delicious. Yeah. Flank steak. Space flank steak. I don't want that. If you go back to carbon fiber or aluminum, at least for the booster, could they be reused many times as well? Obviously, they will have trying to re-engineer your material science at this point would be just foolish. That would make it take longer. I am Space Flan. How dare you bring logic and context into a controversial topic? Yeah, I know, right? I ate Space Flan today. Actual egg tart, but delicious. Okay. Yeah, Pat, that's true. I don't think the FAA really understands the urgency that SpaceX is facing here. Because, once again, they don't have the bandwidth and staff. But, guys, something tells me Something tells me that SpaceX rocking the boat like this is going to get them regulatory approval a lot quicker than we think. And then everybody that's sitting here saying the FAA sucks is going to be eating humble pie in 2 to 3 weeks. Something tells me that that's going to happen. Why? Because this is what happened last time. It's the same thing. The FAA said, nope, no launch for like 2 weeks. And everyone's like, oh, you suck. And they said, just kidding. Because SpaceX rocked the boat again. I have a feeling we'll see a launch in October. I don't know when, but like I said, they're rocking the boat and Congress is up their tail.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Maz, yeah, I just wondered, what would you say you do here? Look, I deal with the chatters so the engineers don't have to. Don't you understand that? I have people skills. I'm good at dealing with people. What the hell is wrong with you people? Anyway, humble pie and space flan. We have to make up a dish and call it space flan. We have to make up a traditional cuisine for that and call it space flan. What should it be? Has to be what the astronauts eat. The astronauts have everything on tortillas because tortillas don't make crumbs. Fun fact. Seriously, do you want pizza? It's like a flatbread pizza up there because it doesn't make crumbs. Have you seen my stapler? And then Elon told me to talk to payroll, and then Gwen told me to talk to Lumberg, and then I still have not received my paycheck, and then they moved my desk down to suborbital pad B. They moved my desk down to suborbital pad B, and it was there, and I could see the piping plovers, and they were married. So Lunchables? Oh, crap. Flan is an actual dessert, so maybe make it from plants grown in space. Oh, flan's a thing? Oh, never mind. I don't want to do that. How long was the Apollo preparation time before the first moon landing? The Apollo program started when President Kennedy said we choose to go to the moon in 1962. Yeah, so the Apollo program started in 63, and we landed on the moon in 69. Humble pie and space flan are the best snacks to take to Duna. Yep, makes sense. Friend, you ever come into work on a Monday, you're not feeling too well, you ever have anybody come up to you and say, sounds like someone's got a case of the Mondays? No, man. Shoot, no, I believe you get your butt kicked saying something like that, man. So 6 years without real computers, do you notice something? They had computers for the second time. They had those. I don't know what point you're trying to prove, but whatever point you're trying to prove isn't the point you think it is. Compare with the Artemis program. Hey, Peter, man, check out Channel 9. Check out this booster. Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, man. Chat over there or something? These are pictures from SpaceX's testing today, and it's pretty poggies. Pretty poggies. You know what? I'm gonna go over here. No, I'm over here. You can just look at that. Some pretty nice rule of thirds going on here. You have been flanned, Tiger. Flanned. You were flanned. Face the flan, please. What? Sorry. I mean, Ilona, I get what you're trying to say. The Apollo program did it fast. Why can't we do it fast right now? It's not computers. Computers aren't the point. We need a goal. You need a goal. You need a deadline. And that comes from the president or the vice president nowadays, because the National Space Flight Council. We need a goal. You need to do something. You need to set a date. Right now, if I got, say I'm running for president, right, and I get president in November, EJ, all right, oh, EJ, what are you gonna do as president? Fund NASA. What do you think about this issue? Fund NASA. Well, what about the issue that many people are facing? Fund NASA. More power. More power. More NASA. Please, you know, like say that happens. Sorry. You need a goal. I would say we need to get back to the moon 2026, 2027. We need to, like, actually, it can't even be arbitrary. We need to get back by the end of 2026. We need to land people on the moon in 2026. We need to have a base by 2028. No bullcrap. That's what I would do. And from there, you'd galvanize the entire system because everybody's working around that deadline. The whole system will scale to your date. That's what happens. That's why when the last president said we're going to go in 2024, we actually got an SLS launch. Weird, huh? That's weird. Just came out of nowhere. That thing must have fallen right from space with shuttle engines and they burned up. Anyway, face the flame trench. That's right. That's right. Yep. All right. All hail the NASA party. EJ, what do you think about this issue? Space. 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 Yeah, but what is space? Hey, come on. That's just space. Space. Bye. Space. Target, let's focus on space, man. The United States of space, because I'm not stopping at the moon. Write this down. M-A-R-S. Mars, chat. Red rocks. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much how I'd be. Yep. We've seen your infrastructure plans. Dude, I would orchestrate the most colossal infrastructure bill you've ever seen. And it would never get anywhere because people would be like, that's expensive. What about the technical feasibility? There's too many midwits, man. Too many midwits. I'd be like, yo, I want to do the national highway system, but with trains. Yep, I want to do that but with trains. Well, what about the airplane industry? I want supersonic transports. Yep, one more of those. What about the sonic booms? NASA, figure out the sonic boom. Oh, wait, you're already doing that. All right, cool. Yep. Did you ever play SR4? You sound like the MC as president. SR4? No, Teague. Be like, yo, high-speed rail. Mucho queso. More power. More power. More power. It'd be like, what are you going to do about our energy needs? More power. Captain, the core is reaching 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit. More power. Captain, the core is reaching 7,500. More power. Captain, I'm giving that all she's got, Captain. More power. You know? Train bridge to Hawaii. Let's do it now. More power. Give that all she's got, Captain. I can't make for the more power. Yeah, no, that's what NASA needs. Sorry, we're going off the rails. High speed rails. Oh no, that's what we need. NASA needs goals. They need deadlines. If you have goals in a deadline and you adhere to it, Ilona, the whole system will fall in line. Everything will fall in line, just like it did during the Apollo program. Same thing, more power. The Interstate EJ train system has a nice ring to it. Yep. Dude, I'm not going to sit, like, guys, I understand the car. I love cars. Yeah, I love automobiles. Automobiles are amazing. The national, our state highway system is fantastic. It's like, you know, wholly unpopular opinion to anybody that's not American, right? I think our interstate system is genius and it's perfect. Maintain it, please. But I also think if we supplement our airline systems and our car systems with trains, oh man, That'd be pretty good. Some high-speed rail from New York City to Chicago. Think about that for a second. That makes sense. Stop in Detroit. I don't know why you'd want to. No, I love Detroit. Just saying, connect it. Doing something like that, connecting the Midwest population center with the East Coast population centers would be, dude, I don't even think that would need to be subsidized. That would be lucratively profitable. Like, it would put planes to shame. Just saying. 3 places I'd never want to visit. New York's pretty cool. I like Detroit. I like Detroit. I'm obligated to like Detroit because my wife is from Detroit, but I also liked Detroit before I even met Primo. So I like Detroit because I like cars. Weird, huh? Boeing would not approve of this train idea. Yeah, except that I'd go to them and be like, yo, you guys, clearly you're not doing that good on the plane things. How about you guys try making a train for a change? What are they going to say? No? You get the infrastructure projects you want, but all the contracts are given to Bechtel. Don't do me like that. I actually saw I saw a 737 MAX flying around when we were walking around Boston yesterday. I saw a Southwest one. It was actually pretty cool. Here. Diesel jet turbine train when? Dude, like I said, you know, they'd be like, where are you going to get all the power to power this thing? More power. Just nuclear, dude. What do you think I am? Stupid? Like, I don't think people would get very confused by me because they'd be like, "Oh, you're pro-nuclear. You know, the fossil fuel companies will never allow it." I'd be like, "Yeah, well, who says I would tell them to stop drilling?" No, I'm greedy. I'm greedy. I want all the energy. Give me all the energy. I must need it. And then the solar people would be like, "No, the solar." I'd be like. Bro, no one's using the desert. Go put your solar farms out there. Start generating some real power if you think you can do it. What? Generate all the power. But it's the desert. It's sand. It's fine. Go put solar panels. No one's using that. Go. More power. And then the wind people would be like, what the wind turbine? All right, build those too. I don't care. Whatever. You don't understand. I want all of your energy. It'd be like Ron Swanson. Give me all your energy. Oh, so you want a side of bacon? No, I don't think you understood me. You thought I said, give me some energy. No. I want all of your energy. I know what I'm about, son. Right? What about the wind? All right, build wind. Whatever. Here, how about this? How about this? You build your wind power plants with diesel trucks powered with diesel fuel from an oil power from an oil refinery. That's a good idea. Should do that. Just saying. Just saying. That's all. Give us HVDC grid to efficiently get Nevada solar power to Maine in time for the evening demand. Well, Aqualex, in my plan, we're already building a high-speed rail line across the entire country, which that kind of goes against what I actually want. Like, I don't think we need a high-speed rail line going across the entire country, but if we're going to do that, you might as well build the power lines to go with it, like what Pennsylvania Railroad did back in the day. If you look at any old pictures of, like, Pennsylvania electrified rail, PRR... If you look at PRR electrification, right, look, they had this really, really weird idea of running their power lines with the train tracks. Oh, that's weird. Wow. That's just such a strange idea. Why would someone do that? All right. You got to run it anyway to get the high-speed rail to do high-speed rail things. You just saying. Makes sense. EJ wants to get all the unemployed people on big human hamster wheels generating power. Can you imagine if we took every gym that has a line of treadmills or a line of exercise bikes and you hook that in to the grid and you paid people to do it? There'd be no more fat people. Just sit there making money doing this. Easy peasy. I'm mostly kidding, but also... Yo, I'll give you $1 for every mile that you run. What? Wasn't that a Black Mirror episode? Yeah, remember the part where I said I was kidding? There you go. Renewable electric, man. And guess what? It'd be powered by potato chips. It'd be great, man. That's more than I make per mile driving a truck. Anyway, so, no, once again, the whole infrastructure. I like infrastructure. I don't know if you knew that. Now all I want to do is just play workers, right? The buttered cat paradox is still the best energy source, IMO. Yep. You could cause an anti-gravity field with that, Swamper. You got to be careful. There's a reason why the government canned that technology. What? Oh my gosh, genius, cunning, not serious plan. Man. Yeah, no, people would call me a crackpot in like 2 seconds if that actually happened. But anyway, NASA needs a guiding vision. If they don't have a guiding vision, the reason why SpaceX seemingly gets so much stuff done, guys, isn't because they have the money to do it. All right, that definitely helps. So don't get me wrong, that definitely helps. But also the reason why is because they're hell bent on getting to Mars. I keep saying this. SpaceX has a plan. They have a plan on how to do it, and it all hinges on Starship. But yeah, anyway, you have to. The reason why they make such progress is because, once again, they're aiming to make spaceflight fully reusable. They're going for the holy grail of spaceflight, a fully reusable operational system, and they're going to use that avenue to get them to Mars. It's pretty straightforward stuff, right? SpaceX has a goal, and their stakeholder expectations are very clearly stated. Now, for what it's worth, Blues are too. That's what I'm saying, man. It's very smart. It's pretty damn smart. What is the buttered cat paradox? It's a joke. You guys, you know the joke, you have the piece of toast and you butter the toast. It always butter side down. It always lands butter side. I mean, that's not true, right? Or a cat always lands on their feet. So the idea is that if you butter the backside of a cat and you try to throw them off something, don't do this. That's animal abuse. The cat will never land. It'll just sit there and spin infinitely, defying Newton's laws of physics, but providing an infinite power source. It's a joke. It's a joke. That explains why the lady was trying to butter jorts. What? We need a buttered cat coggers emote. What? What buttery jorts? All right. I'm changing the subject, man. MS-25 came back down. So Soyuz MS-25 came back down yesterday. It came back down yesterday, and it brought back down Oleg Kononenko, Nikolai Chub, and Tracy Caldwell Dyson. They landed out in Baikonur. 11:58 UTC. So early this morning. Early this morning for us. Yeah, they came down and the recovery was good. Kononenko, guys. Like, I know, Russians and stuff, but Oleg Kononenko is awesome. That guy, look at how many times this dude's been into space. He holds, I don't know if he's the highest, but he's definitely up there in like top 5 all-time people that have been to space. Look at his hours in space. Guy spent almost 3 years of his life in space. That's more than any other. I don't know if it's the most. I don't think it's the most, but it's definitely up there. I think Gennady Padelka has the most. And then Sergei Krikalev is behind him. And Frank Rubio and Peggy Whitson are up there too. But yeah, Oleg is a legend. That guy helped. I mean, he was on Expedition 17. TMA 12 was a long time ago. That's from 2008. He helped build the ISS, man. That guy is like spaceflight royalty, which is super cool. Yeah, 44 hours EVA. He was the commander of the station. And he was relieved of his command by Sonny Williams, believe it or not. Yeah, Sonny's the commander of the space station. We have a masshole in charge of the ISS right now. Oh, all of you are screwed. Oleg has the most by almost a year. Gennady Padelka and Sergei Krikalev are behind him, if math serves me left. And then, once again, Frank Rubio and Peggy Whitson are up there. They're definitely, like, all-time, dude. That guy's been up there for a long time. And, contrast that with Nikolai Chubin. I'm pretty sure that was his first flight. That was his first flight. Now, Tracy Caldwell Dyson, I think that was her third flight. She was on STS-118. She flew on the shuttle, which is super cool. But anyway, yeah, MS-25 did come back down. They were relieved by MS-26, which was, I have to look it up. I know that Don Pettit is on it. I think it's Don Pettit. Here, I'm gonna do it without trying to look it up. Don't spoil it. See if I can remember off the top of my head. So Don Pettit was on that, and then it was Alexei Ovchinin is the commander of that, and Ivan Wagner is the flight engineer. Yeah. Kononenko has the record. No, not that one, guy. I was trying to think who launched on MS-26. So it was Pettit, Alexei Ovchinin, and Ivan Wagner. Cool. I got it. I remembered. I had now here. Let me look it up. Yeah. All right. Alexei Ovchinin was on Soyuz MS-10. MS-10 was a very short flight. Him and Nick had a hell of a ride, dude. Which is cool because they're going to be reunited because Nick is launching, Nick Hague is launching on Crew 9 tomorrow? Question? Crew 9's on the 26th. Thursday, the 26th at 2:05. Cool. Yeah, it was the 24th. They moved it back a little bit. But, Nick Hague and Crew 9 is going to launch on Thursday, and Nick Hague is the commander, and he has Alexei Gorbanov with him. I'm pretty sure it's Gorbanov's first flight, and he's flying on Dragon. Now, once again, that was only them. They were Zena Cardman, and I forget who was the last one. They got moved to another flight because NASA's launching Crew 9 with 2 people because Butch and Sonny are going to come back down. The CFT-1 crew is going to come back down on this one in February. Yeah. Also, Nick Hague and Alexander Gorbanov are going to be the first astronauts to fly off of, or astronaut and cosmonaut to fly off of Slick 40. Yeah, not a lot of people know that. Crew 9, guys, is going to launch from Pad 40. That is the first No crew has ever launched from that pad. So, in fact, the last time crew launched from a pad that wasn't 39 was CFT1, which is also this year. But no crew has ever launched from this pad. This is an extremely old picture. SpaceX, that's an extremely old picture. There's a crew access tower here, just like 39's there. So, yeah, that's super freaking cool. Isn't he the first Russian to launch on Dragon? No. Anna Kikna launched on Dragon before. I'm pretty sure. Hang on. Let me just be absolutely sure. My daughter just asked who spent the shortest time in space. Do you know? So Beltbox, that's actually and Beltbox, your daughter. That's actually a really good question. Are we counting spaceflight participants, so tourists? Because if it's tourists, then tourists have spent like a week up there. It's not that long. I mean, or are we counting like Blue Origin? Like, I'm pretty sure the context of this belt box is stays at the ISS. If that's the case, it's Dennis Tito probably. If I had to guess, or Yusaku Maezawa could be either one. Because remember, he went to the ISS and then decided he didn't want to do Dear Moon anymore after that, which is okay. So Thursday, it will make 8 pads at the Cape that have launched with people. 39A, 39B, 40, 41, 34, 19, 14, and 5. Yep. Shuttleworth, Richard Garriott. Yeah, could be. Lord British was up there for a short period of time. Yeah. I was thinking suborbital count, but the ISS works too. Thanks. Yeah. Well, any New Shepard flight, dude. Any New Shepard flight would be probably the shortest amount of time in space above the Kármán line. So Jeff Bezos would probably be there. But, guys, I said it once. I mean, Belt, I said it once. I'll say it again. You know, it takes stones putting yourself on your company's rocket on the first flight, on the first crew mission, and he did. I always give Jeff Bezos a good deal of respect for doing that. You know, I respect that guy a lot. It takes stones to put yourself on your own rocket on the first crew flight and then fly it. I don't care if it's suborbital. That takes balls. The kind that fuel is stored in. It's pretty ballsy. I appreciate it. I really do. That's cool, man. Pretty cool. Yeah, exactly, Chrome. That should tell you. Dude, I was reading about material science between, what is it, CTFP? Not an engineer, but I'm pretty sure carbon fiber that's that thick is probably not good enough for deep sea diving. I mean, people did die, and I don't like talking about that. I don't like talking about death on stream. But because I have a problem with profiting off of it, at least here in this avenue, right? Like, do we think we'll ever see New Glenn crewed one day? Vargon, New Glenn is being built to crew spec. It is being built for crew rating. Now, what that means, I have no idea. But if you look at Slick 36, right? Look at the lightning towers and look at the right-hand lightning tower here. That's a crew access tower. You saw it if you watched Tim Dodd's videos with Jeff, where they go up there. This has an elevator in it and everything. It's good. Well, actually, I don't know if it has an elevator in it yet, but it could. That's all designed for crew access right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The carbon fiber on the submarine was not nearly thick enough. Because apparently the guy didn't understand what load cycling is on material science components. Probably should have done that. Anyway, it has a cage style elevator, that's right. Yeah, Sig, I'm kind of with you on that one. There's wanting to push the envelope, right? And then there's just ignoring reality and physics. And if you try to ignore physics, physics will come back to bite you. Yeah. 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 I was reading the findings about like the carbon fiber and the kind of the design choices, why they chose to make that way. Okay. Physics will let you know. Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. But anyway, yeah, crew rating soon. I wanted to look up those crew missions here real quick. Who was the first cosmonaut to fly? I know it took a couple of flights. There was Crew 2. Crew 2 had Shane Kimbrough, Megan MacArthur, Akihiko Hoshide, and Thomas Pesquet. Thomas Pesquet is cool. That guy's cool. He likes crap posting on the internet. I appreciate that. Roger, Thomas, Matthias, Kayla. Samantha Cristoforetti. Man, all these freaking crew flights happen, like, it's ridiculous. Does anyone have any official plans to carry Dream Chaser one day? Vulcan is contracted to fly Dream Chaser uncrewed to the ISS. That should happen early next year. Come on, just cause. Yeah, Anna was the first one. I was right. Great pronunciation on names. Thank you. Yeah, she was the first cosmonaut to fly on Dragon. Cool beans. And then, yeah, Gorbanov is the next one. She was the first one, and then on Crew 6, there was Andrei Fediev. And then on 7, I can't believe all these missions have happened. Yeah, Borisov was on there. Konstantin Borisov was on there. And then Crew 8, yeah, has Alexander Grabenkin. He's up there right now. And then 9, yeah, has Gorbanov on it. This guy. He, I'm pretty sure that's his first flight. Yeah, that's his first flight. Cool. A lot of rooks. A lot of rookies up there. Good stuff. Does Blue have any official plans to carry Dream Chaser one day? No, nothing right now. Dream Chaser Tenacity is at KSC right now. Yes, it's in the operations and checkout building. If math serves me left. Yeah, it's in the ONC near Orion. Sarah does post pictures of it from time to time. Here. Anyway, good space news today. This is a lot of good stuff. Whoop. Whoop. Let's see.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That's not ONC. That's the SSPF. I think. Yeah, no, that's not ONC. That's the SSPF. It's Orion is being built right here at the Neil Armstrong Operations and Checkout. That's where Orion and the ESMs end up, in there. We're talking over here now, this building. That's where Dream Chaser is. It's in that one. Hey, Gujar, 37-month resub. Thank you. What's this? We're excited to be coming out of stealth mode to announce $8 million in new funding to build a giant cannon that can launch raw materials needed for the orbital economy. We just secured a $2 million Air Force contract and hit Mach 4.6 with our latest gas gun. What? 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 No. What? I'm not sure, Vargon. What is this?
Rockets are flexible. They go exactly where you want them to. They do not have a very good marginal cost. Rockets are really expensive and fragile. What we need to do now is we need to move enormous amounts of material to space at the absolute lowest cost. In World War II, the Germans built a bunch of different crazy super weapons. One of them was the V2. The other was called the V3, which was a multi-injection gun. Turns out it wasn't a very good weapon, but it was a very good way of making things go very, very, very fast at a very low cost. So we think we can build something very similar to the V3 that the Germans built, flat on the ground, and use it to put stuff into space.
We started with a velocity about Mach 1, and from there we made huge steps. We went from 1 to 1.8, 2.2, then in December we got to 3.6, and mid-December it was Mach 4.2. So over the past 6 months we basically quadrupled our speed, which is amazing.
What we're doing here is so unique, it will just completely change the dynamic of space launch and how people even think about space.
What we're building is never going to be appropriate for putting you or me into space, but
materials, fuel, satellites, anything, bringing into space.
We're here to crack the solar system open like an egg. We're building a multi-injection kinetic accelerator for taking large stuff to extremely high speeds and putting it directly into orbit.
What? What? I What was that about physics? I'm very curious how they're going to get around that whole atmosphere thing. If you're gonna do that, look, okay, first of all, I'm not saying that's impossible. It's not impossible. You could do it. The problem is that there's that atmosphere. The atmosphere is in the way. And because the atmosphere is in the way, anything that you launch going that fast into the atmosphere is going to instantly encounter re-entry heating, right? You're going to get shock heating. It's going to happen pretty fast, and there's going to be a lot of it. So unless you're willing to ablate like half of the material that you send up, I'm not entirely sure how you're going to do that. Yeah, you can accelerate something fast, and that's cool, but great. The second it comes out of the gun barrel, you're going to start slowing down. Easy, just have a manhole cover in the front. Will the FAA authorize this? I don't know. Like, here's the thing, guys. The physics are there. the physics are there. You could do it, sure. Why? They're talking about moving large quantities of materials in space. Well, okay, your benchmark should be Starship, which moves like 100 tons. Even the crappy V2 versions right now, it's still 40, which is still more than most launch vehicles. So unless you have some type of ace card in the hole here, yeah, I'm not 100% sure who you're trying to compete with. Oh, Jesus Christ. Starship has moved 0 tons as of yet. It has yet to make it to orbit. Yeah, Cuban, sure, of course, if you want to be technical, but to say that this could somehow buck what the trajectory that Starship is on right now is a little absurd, don't you think? Think about the energy that you need to move the equivalent mass of what Starship is projected to do, which arguably is way closer of actually doing than this, right? They can accelerate it to Mach 4.6. Starship hit Mach 4.6 on the first test flight. And then some. It went way faster than that. Starship went Mach 25 on the second test flight. Like, it's going to take a long time to be able to scale like that. You don't, like, here's the thing. I said you have to have that can-do attitude, and these people seem to have it, but also, I don't understand what your business model is here. Like, what are you trying to do? You're going to move raw materials up there. Why? Okay. So we have a 100-ton chunk of steel sitting in space. Okay. So first of all, I'm not sure how much energy you're going to need to get that, to accelerate that to... Actually, I do know. You need C3. You need a lot of C3 to do that, but... You agree on Earth it would be pretty dumb having a much smaller system on the moon. This system makes amazing sense, and that might be what they're pining for. But to insinuate that this thing will even hold a candle sometime in the future to Starship is a little silly, unless they got an ace card in the hole that they're not telling us about, in which case that'd be cool. But it'd be very, very weird. He is right about the V3 gun. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that. They want to do this on Earth, if I'm understanding that right, which, once again, I'd be very curious to see how they're going to get around that whole atmosphere problem. Just got here, got a link. Yeah, here, watch this video. I mean, here's the thing, though. Those dudes aren't wrong. Moving mass materials around, like, if we were going to build, like, big, crazy generational ships, like a Star Destroyer or something, right? Or like a Battlestar. If we want to do stuff like that, you got to be able to move mass amounts. You got to be able to move the raw materials off planet. Or find a way to mine them on an asteroid and bring them here and refine, like space industry. You need to do that. Personally, I'm more of a fan of doing that. The whole case for space of going up there is to not screw up this planet anymore. Right? Like, that's a huge kind of argument there. Like, go mine the asteroids. They're there. I don't know, Tessa. I'm not going to say it's dumb. It's really hard to say that it's dumb when they got a $2 million Air Force contract. I mean, like, they're the ones that got $2 million from Uncle Sam, and we're sitting here saying that's a stupid idea. So who's the chump? Just saying. There's been some talk of using a high-powered laser to produce an artificial lightning mode to make a momentary rarefied heat expansion plasma channel for the projectile to skip the worst 1% right at the start. As for why, maybe carbon export to the moon. I don't know. Maybe. Didn't HARP launch a few payloads though? I'm looking. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, HARP is the jump is the idiot to authorize the check. That is definitely an inner design. I'm for the belt. Oh, God, you filthy belter. Get out of here. Is Spin Launch still around? I think so. I haven't heard anything of them since COVID, dude. Baby Contra, yeah, baby. There was no shortage of can-do attitude in the 1960s. Yeah, dude, I dig it. Like, this is why I don't want to be like, no, screw that. That's a stupid idea. That's a rocket that's being shot out of a battleship cannon. Yeah, that's what HARP is, if you were wondering. Yeah, high altitude research project. Oh, okay. Yep, they shot a rocket out of a battleship cannon. Or a battleship gun. It's a bag gun. It's not a cannon. Yep. That's actually super cool. All right. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty cool. If they're gonna do something like that, then I'm kind of about that life. That's kind of rad, man. Use a battleship gun as a first stage. It's just an SRB facing in the wrong direction. That's all. Oh, it was a cannon. The guns used for Project HARP consisted of a smoothbore 5-inch, 7-inch, and 16-inch guns. Oh, so they are cannons. Nice. The 16-inch HARP gun in Barbados held the largest gun record globally with a barrel length of 119 freaking feet. 30 meters, guys. Over 30 meters. Yeah, right there. 36 and a quarter meters. Weighing 200 tons, it consisted of two 16-inch U.S. Navy barrels welded together and smoothbored to 16.4-inch diameter. Dude, frick you. I love it. You know what? I changed my mind. Sold. If they do stuff like that, I'm in. Let's go. Oh my goodness. I love it. Let's go, dude. Do it. Make it happen. It was capable of firing at a muzzle velocity of 2164 meters a second. That's actually... Oh, with a maximum acceleration of 15,000 Gs. All right. It launched a 181 kilogram shot with an 84 kilogram payload that could reach an altitude of 181 kilometers, almost 600,000 feet. Okay. Could this be crew rated? Where are you? Yeah, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, no. No. How do you like your crew? Do you like them regular, creamy, or al dente? Pureed. Will it blend? Yes. Yes, it will. Yeah, that's not good for your body, dudes. Yeah, that's not. Spin Launch's last tweet was July 17th. Nothing substantive. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from them. Interesting. Long shot. It's a long shot. We'll see what they do. I've been hanging with Sawyer too much. Elon also posted this. You probably want to... Yeah. No, not 15 Gs, 15,000. When it comes to alternatives to rockets, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the Lofstrom loops are. They're the most well thought out and plausible option I've come across so far. So much more than guns or space elevators. Am I missing something? I really can't understand why no one is trying to develop them yet. I'm not familiar with Lofstrom loops, Bill, but honestly, just build a rocket. Just build a rocket. You're reinventing the wheel at this point. Why do all this? Why? Why would you like all that for that? Why? I don't. That's the linear motor track. You don't need to explain it. It says it right there what this is. I get it. I just don't really understand why you would do this. You're making something that's 2,000 kilometers long. Why do this? Just build a rocket. Like, this is the hardest cope I've ever seen out of all the things that are out of all the proposals that I've seen that aren't, a rocket. That's the like, what? Just build a rocket. It would be easier. Like, this isn't even that can-do attitude thing. This is just, what are you doing? Because this can be 100% electric. So what? Who cares? The amount of energy that you need to put into that thing is probably more than what you'd need for a rocket. Who gives a frick if it's 100% electric? You could take that 100% electrical power that you use to generate that stupid thing and use it to make a freaking factory and use that factory to make rockets. And then you're still probably using less energy. $1.21 gigawatts? 1.21 gigawatts? Great Scott! If you Google Spin Launch, it says that their Long Beach location is permanently closed. Interesting. Like, it's just cope harder. For the amount of money it would take to build that, you could engineer this thing like 20 times over. Why don't you just do this? Why must you be different? Well, I don't understand. It's the hardest copium I've ever seen. Is it fair to say that some companies opt for gimmicks because it draws investors? Yeah. How will anyone build an 80-kilometer tall anything? This technology would work really well if we just, invented fusion. I just cope and seethe. This is the best way to do it. You know why? Because The U.S. and the USSR spent billions of dollars of capital in GDP on trying to find the most efficient way to send something from 0 miles an hour to 17,500 miles an hour. We spent billions of dollars trying to figure that one out. And guess what? The conclusion that we came to, rockets are a good idea. Rockets work. So building anything else is somehow suggesting that there's a better way to do it than the way that was figured out with the entire military industrial complex from two superpowers going at it. That no. You know better than the billions of dollars of R&D and funding that went into the space program and everything that had to do with it over the course of the 20th century. No. You have it all figured out. Like I said, there's the can-do attitude, and then they're saying, you know, I can make a train if I figure out I can make a train better if I figure out a way to make the train hover like in Back to the Future. It's like, what? Why? Wasn't the Venture Star issue resolved? Why wasn't that dusted off? Because somebody played games with our spaceflight program, Cornbread, which is the exact problem I'm trying to call out now. Did you hear about Blue's GS2 Hotfire? Yeah, Victorian. Yeah, we just covered it, dude. Yes, Dave Limp posted some really cool pictures. Read the section ability to stay aloft in that wiki. I don't need more copium. Wouldn't the cost eventually go down relative to the rockets after you're putting literally hundreds of millions of tons in orbit? I'm talking about systems that will use hundreds of years from now at the earliest. Space guns fall into that category. No, they don't. I don't think so. No, I disagree, Bill. You go back 500 years ago. 500 years ago, what's the primary form of mechanized transportation? It's a sailboat, right? You go back 2,000 years ago, what's the primary form of mechanized transportation? Sailboat. By that logic, the ancient Romans would have built a bridge from Great Britain to the United States. Oh, well, we would have done that, but no. There's convergent design for a reason. Do the ships that we have now do that much things different than the ships from 2,000 years ago? No. They're still buoyant. They still float for the same exact reasons. There's a reason why nobody's tried to build anything better, because that works, and it works really well, because it's convergent design. Some ships are going back to sails too. Yeah, the ESA's copium ship. That's that's the canopy. That's the craziest thing. It's the hardest cope I've ever seen. It's funny. We're being more efficient by the sailors on this ship. How much energy did you use to make those damn things? More than the energy they'll ever be used to recover. Yeah, more than the energy they'll ever recover. Yeah, okay. Like, once again, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to be that guy in the center. This isn't can-do attitude stuff like SpaceX fishing Booster 11 out of the drink. This is not that. This is just you're taking a process like launching a rocket and payload into space, and you're trying to make it more difficult than it is. By your logic, planes are dumb as they use more energy for less mass. You're seriously sitting here and telling me that you honestly believe that? You think that that's better? That's a better idea than rockets, Tessa? I'm dumbfounded by by the words that's coming out of your mouth. Like, wow, you've said some stupid things before, but that one was probably the stupidest. I don't know that it isn't for certain, but devil's advocate dictates you might as well try. Have at it then. I'll be over here with the people that make the stuff that actually exists in reality. Just putting it out there. Video about this concept. No. Nope. No, not doing that, W. No, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. People thought trains were dumb and planes and jet turbines. I'm not making myself clear. Apparently. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Still a good KSP project, cracking jib straight to orbit. We did that 5 years ago. Last for ULA stuff, please save me. We have a trajectory for Vulcan Cert 2. Yes, we do. 27 degrees inclined. Oh, very nice. Vulcan is stacked. Cert 2 is pretty much ready to go. We're ready for Vulcan's second flight. Tinfoil hat. It looks like it could be a really long duration Centaur test. What do you mean tinfoil hat? That's a huge apogee right there. When the ground track does that, guys, when it loops over itself, that's indicative of a highly eccentric orbit. This one's going out way far. Cert 2 is going a long way, dude. I'm guessing Geo, Phil. Actually, well, if it's going backwards, it's going to be past Geo, don't you think? Yeah, if it's going backwards, it's higher than geosynchronous. Unless it does something like that, in which case it's graveyard orbit. Still super cool. Here, check this out, guys. Actually, that reminds me, we could go over here and there's a Tori time lapse. Tori Bruno. Yeah, here, check it out. That's the rocket, the mission profile for that rocket. Yeah, baby. I think the miscommunication about that rail system is the cultural idea that electricity is more efficient and green, not considering the generation of electricity and our ability to hold quantities of energy that does not equate to fossil fuels as of yet. Yeah, Cornbread, that's the whole idea. Why would you do that? We need to rely on a technology that does not exist to do that. Remember, the goal here is to get something to space for cheaper. By that logic, you're inventing fusion power to get space to things for cheaper. When in reality, if we invent fusion power, there's a lot of things that we could do for cheaper. That's not one of them. There's a lot of things we do cheaper that has to do with spaceflight. Why not just put, if you need a fusion power plant to make that stupid thing loop around a couple times, shoot something up into space using all electric power, why don't you just put a fusion power plant on a rocket and just use whatever that thing's using to accelerate the thing to shoot off into space. Hook up a fusion power plant to an ion drive, solar electric propulsion. Just Epstein drive yourself right up into space. Why do that? You don't have a fusion power plant. Do you listen to what I say, Ilona, or you just like selectively hear words? Is it like say things, you listen, do things, rockets? I'm just genuinely curious. You seem to have a gist of what I'm saying, but I'm like, hey, go ride a tricycle. And you're like, hey, EJ, go ride a tricycle. I'm like, yeah, okay. Go ride a roller coaster. Go ride a circus animal. Anyway, check this out. Boom completed flight 4 here. Check this out. With their XB-1 demonstration vehicle. Another smooth landing. XB-1 Flight 4 overview. New max speed of Mach 0.617. Hey. Cool numbers. Area codes. First use of the Flutter Excitation System, FES, in flight. Applied elevated G-forces of 2.78 in prep for supersonic flight. Landing gear retracted, extended at 225 KIAS. Ah, neat. All right, what do we got here? Here, let's full screen this fool. Let's see this thing coming in for landing. Just make sure my headset's on. Okay, of course, there's no sound. Epstein drive reference. Yes, expanse. Super high angle of attack. That's what's needed, dude. Look at that landing gear flex. Yikes. Hello. Hello, Mr. L39. How are you? Cool. Yeah, dude, look at the vortices that are created by that wing shape. It's because that wing shape looks exactly like Concorde's wing shape, and it's not a coincidence. I mean, that whole fuselage looks like Concorde except for the back. I want that truck, by the way. Dude, so I noticed something super interesting. So guys, I just said that these are creating huge vortices. They're creating drag over the top of the wings. That's what this triangular shaped wing is like. If you see it kind of, the delta wing kind of goes like this, right? It kind of goes inward, right? And then it goes out. You could just barely see it go in right there and then go out, right? It's not like a perfect triangle, right? What that little relief right there in the wing is designed to do is let a lot of air over the wing and create tons of turbulence over it, right? You could see the turbulence visualized here from the screech from the tires, right? See the swirls that it's making? That creates a crazy amount of drag over the top of the wing. Now that coupled with the high pressure air going over the bottom of the wing creates lift, and it creates a lot of it, right? Check this out. Look what happens to the landing gear when the guy brings the nose of the plane down. Geppetto is the call sign for the test pilot, if I'm remembering right. He brings the nose down, and watch. You see the gear? It goes from that to that. It starts to spread out. The reason why is because the wings aren't generating lift anymore. Because once you bring those wings down like that, the amount of lift that they make exponentially falls off. And you could see that with the landing gear, right? The landing gear getting more compressed as he brings the nose of the plane over. Isn't that cool? That's super neat, actually. And, you know, from this angle, that is a very weird-looking plane. The technical term is swirly-durlies. Yes, that's right. Swirly-durlies. You create the swirly-durlies over the wing. You think I'm kidding? I just Googled Concorde wing swirly-durlies, and that's what pops up. Concorde did the same thing. See the relief? There's a relief in the wing. It's not a straight line. See that? See the swirly-durly? See, there's another good picture of it. See what I'm talking about? Concorde's wings are made like that for a reason. Because it's designed at high angles of attack to let air over the front of the wing right there and create super amounts of drag. And that swirly-durly is what... See the swirly-durlies? The swirly-durly is what allows that thing to actually fly. See the swirly-durlies? I'm serious. That's what I Googled, swirly-durly. That's what it's called. It's not called that. They're wing vortexes. Vortexes created above the wing to create crazy amounts of drag. Smart. I can think of another vehicle that uses that, but it's for a different reason. The Concorde does it because it needs that wing shape to land. You need the high angle of attack for it to land, right? And it has a very thin wing to fly very fast at higher speeds. But if you look at the space shuttle, it's the same wing design. Not exactly the same. It's the same idea. You have a straight delta wing. The shuttle is designed to do that at higher angles of attack because that's the only way it can land. It can't land any other way. Yeah, but the shuttle has a very similar wing design for a different reason. Well, actually, it's pretty much the same reason, but it's a different vehicle. Fun fact. Shuttle mentioned. Cool, huh? All right, guys. It's 8 o'clock. I think we're good. I think we covered everything over the weekend. Good stuff. Back to workers. Back to workers. We have more stuff to design. Example of the shuttle's wing vortices. Yeah, there you go. Cool. The A4 also has that. Yeah, that's right. Yep. There's a lot of planes that do that. What is the propulsion and fuel for the Boom, the XB1? It's just jet fuel. I think it's JP5, I think. I don't know. I'm probably pulling that out of my tail. It's probably just jet fuel. Just jet fuel. Sorry, I was just looking at something else, just on a quick side note. Great space news. No problem, Pat. What is it? Oh, that's KSC's headquarters. They demolished it during the pandemic, and they replaced it with that building over there. Yeah, it's just a field now. Yeah, that's the original HQ for KSC. It's not there anymore. There was a lot of asbestos in it. That's why they did it. But, yeah, still sucks. It's a cool building. I got to walk in that building, dude. That's pretty cool. And then whatever that building is over there, I don't know what that one is or what it did. Anyway, yeah, before I get annoyed, let's switch over to workers and resources. Spending that oil money, though. Spending that oil money. Let's say financing new industries with oil money. There we go. Back to workers. If you're wondering where Satisfactory is today, Satisfactory will come back tomorrow. Monday is my workers' day. And maybe